Hello everyone. After a long and tough journey, welcome back to Play for Fun. During the making of this episode, I faced some unexpected and challenging setbacks that seriously disrupted the process. What you're watching now is actually the second version. I had to rebuild everything from scratch, as the original footage was lost. I won't dwell on it, but if you notice that this episode feels a bit lighter on detail or different from my usual style, please know I gave it everything I had, and I truly appreciate your understanding. Eldoria has come a long way since you last saw it, with major improvements to earlier areas and the addition of brand new districts. I've spent a lot of time refining the details and carefully upgrading the city, while also developing brand new areas. And now, I'm going to walk you through all of it, step by step. The first thing I focused on was extending the design style I had developed for the industrial zone, with those dense, structured rows of trees that may feel a bit dramatic. I refined everything to feel more polished, efficient, and better put together. The tight, organized layout of the trees really gave the final design a more polished and cohesive feel, and it was genuinely satisfying to see it all come together. The buildings I had initially placed randomly to meet basic needs finally found their place, now thoughtfully integrated into the final layout with a design that truly fits the area. This part was incredibly fun to work on, especially now that I'm seeing the final result come to life. It took a lot of time, even though it was really enjoyable to create, but that was just the beginning. The real story unfolded across the city, where I built a brand new district around the lake. The idea is to design the new district in a way that blends naturally with the rest of the city, making it feel like a true continuation rather than a separate zone, centered around the lake, which naturally sits at the heart of the area and is meant to become the core of the entire design. I'm also planning to transform the space between the new district and the older parts of the city into a large park. At its center, an elevated highway and pedestrian walkways will link both sides, creating a vast, functional green space that's not just visually stunning, but also highly efficient. On top of all that, the new district will include much more green space. Alright guys, this is the layout I've come up with so far. The large central lake has been placed right where it should be, and around it, I'm planning to build recreational areas with parks, small shops, and plazas. This space will become the main leisure hub of this part of the city. I've also got plenty of details in mind, like custom surfaces, tree lines, and more. I'll also be adding taller buildings, towers, and skyscrapers around the lake, but with low density, so they don't feel too crowded or overwhelming. But for now, let's get back to the area directly around the lake and dive into those details first. The area around the lake is coming together smoothly, just as planned. I've already added a few side roads and pedestrian paths to shape the flow. This part is meant to reflect the feel of that central zone from the older district, bringing the same charm and function into the new section of the city. I also thought that placing two key buildings on either side of the lake, a modern, beautiful art museum and a Ferris wheel, would perfectly complete the atmosphere of this lakeside area. They'll act as landmarks that give character to the space and make it feel both culturally rich and lively. I've also added some really nice details around the lake that I think are more than enough for now. Playgrounds, parks, shops and kiosks, fountains, gazebos, trees, and benches. They've all come together to create a truly dreamy lakeside atmosphere. And this isn't the end of it. There's more to come in this area as the project continues. Alright guys, next up I'll prepare the different zones. lay out some of the side roads and pedestrian paths, and then start zoning the area. Once things are moving along and the layout starts to take shape, I'll come back and walk you through the progress. Well, guys, things are growing nicely and everything's going according to plan. Most of the residential areas in the new district have been built. There's still a lot left to do, but the whole area is slowly starting to take shape. I've been trying to separate different areas as much as possible using the customization options available in the vanilla mod. I also decorated various parts of the city using different surface types to give each zone its own identity. There's still a lot left to do, of course. When it comes to detailing, no matter how much time you put in, it never feels like enough. Next up, my focus will be on completing the upper section of the district. That's where the next layer of progress is happening. I've got a special design in mind for this section, and I think it's really going to turn out great. For the zoning, I'm planning to use these buildings. Their tight layout and modern style are exactly my taste. I honestly think the final result will be awesome. Let's get to it and finish this part strong. Alright, this was the design I had in mind for this part. What do you think? I personally love how it turned out. There are still a lot of open spaces between the buildings that I plan to fill in, so the work's definitely ongoing. I didn't want to overcrowd the area with high-density buildings glued together. I think this layout feels much more balanced and realistic. And as you've probably noticed, I've already placed pedestrian overpasses wherever needed to keep things flowing smoothly. At the end of the video, I'll include plenty of shots so you can get a better look at everything. The tree planting between the buildings is mostly done, and honestly, that's where most of the time went. But I have to say, I think it turned out great. Now it's time to move on to the large open space between the two neighborhoods, where I'm planning to build a big, custom-designed park. Once that's complete, we can pretty much call this episode wrapped. Let's get that final shot finished. Alright guys, this is everything I was able to put together for this episode. Once again, thank you so much for your support, and I truly apologize for the long delay in getting this video out. A lot of things have been out of my control lately, and I've been dealing with some pretty unbelievable challenges. I really hope things settle down soon so I can get back to creating and uploading videos faster than ever. This is something I'm deeply passionate about, and I genuinely enjoy every step of the process. From building and recording, to reading your comments and responding to your feedback. Fingers crossed everything goes smoothly from here on out. Thanks so much for watching this far. I'll aim to share even more details in the next episode. Until then, happy building!